No mai, haere mai, atamare. Very, very warm welcome to you all this morning to our very special occasion as we celebrate our sporting cornerstone here at Woodford House after another amazing year. So thank you all for joining us, and also to those of you who are joining us via our video link, a very warm welcome to you all. We're in for a special occasion, and I can promise you we have a guest that is just going to absolutely wow us all. So we're very, very excited to have you. Yes, very excited to have you here, Dame Valerie. I would like to begin by inviting Reverend Hedgeford to bless us in prayer.
Let us bow our heads in prayer. Gracious God, as we gather this morning on this beautiful day to remember excellence and note excellence in sports, we pause to give thanks. We give thanks for talents, for skills, for our coaches, for all of those who support and encourage sport in our community. We give thanks for this food and for those who prepared it. Grant us your blessing now and always. Amen.
Thank you, Mrs. Peterson and Reverend Hedge. Just before I start with a bit of a welcome this morning, obviously we'll just run through a little bit of housekeeping. So just if there's a continuous fire alarm, you'll be able to see all of the exits, 2 on this side, and there's some around the corner as well, and also here. So if we make our way out across the driveway down to by the playground, we'll all convene there and we'll take a roll. Also, girls, if you'll be coming across the stage today, when you come across, if you head straight down to Mrs. Ainsworth, she'll be taking a photo of you all. Just make sure you've got your blazer on, done up, tie done up, looking smart. That'll keep us ticking along nicely today. So everyone, welcome, good morning. It's fantastic that we're here, able to celebrate the 2023 Sports Achievers Breakfast. I'm going to keep my welcome nice and short because, like Mrs. Peterson said, we've got a special speaker who I'm sure you all want to hear as much from as possible. So after last year, I was hoping that I could start this speech by saying that after the last 2 years of COVID-related interruption, hasn't it been amazing to have a full year of sport without any hiccups? Just when you thought things were back on track, Mother Nature had her say. Cyclone Gabrielle affected our region and Woodford House community in ways that many of us can only imagine. Families in this very hall lost everything, and we were left wondering in what way, shape or form we could help. For us in the sports department, we realised very quickly that sport for a lot of girls was a healer. And much like when we returned to school after lockdown, sport for all our girls became something that reconnected them, was a welcome distraction, a constant, and something that brought joy to otherwise trying times. On the flip side to that, I've also seen as recently as last weekend how sport can disconnect us, as I battled for 80 minutes with my Irish wife during the quarterfinal. But really, seeing the girls reconnecting with friends, other schools and coaches has been amazing for us. And the resilience that these girls have shown over the last 3 years, being able to navigate that, really inspires us daily to make sure that they are getting everything that they need and more from their sporting experiences. I'm really pleased that we're able to come together to celebrate the amazing sporting successes that we've seen at Woodford House this year. House spirit's at an all-time high during our school sporting events, and our participation numbers are through the roof. It has been a busy year for the sports department, with more and more events than ever on the calendar, but like I say, seeing the enjoyment from reconnection and the genuine want to compete in as much as possible has made it all worth it for us. The number of Woodford House girls involved in sport grows every year, and with our department now offering 27 sport and wellbeing options, there is something for every student to sink her teeth into. It is this range of opportunities available and the rightful emphasis put on the importance and benefits of the sporting cornerstone at Woodford House that's made this year so special. 2023 has brought with it unprecedented success for sport at Woodford House, and we've seen team and individual achievements at regional, national and international levels, and it's an honour to celebrate these achievements this morning. There are far too many highlights to start to name and far too many individual achievements to run through, but as these talented athletes come across the stage this morning, you'll start to get an idea of where I'm coming from. It's safe to say that the trophy cabinet's looking quite healthy, and this is the direct result of the hard work from both our athletes and our very, very talented coaching and management staff. I'd like to thank all of the staff, parents and coaches who give up their time to make sure that our girls have positive role models and guidance on the sidelines. It's clearly evident that when the girls feel supported in their sporting pursuits, their confidence and enjoyment levels grow. One final highlight for me is the fact that our Sports Academy has again gone from strength to strength this year. We continue to utilise the EIT Institute of Sport and Health, where the girls make the most of the world-class facilities, equipment and trainers. Our guest speakers have also covered food and nutrition, sports psychology, physiotherapy, strength and conditioning and athlete preparation. The 35 girls in this program have been inspired to aim high whilst being equipped with the tools to get there. So before we get into the formalities this morning, to all award winners and members of the top teams in attendance, congratulations in advance. And enjoy your moments this morning because you thoroughly deserve them. I'd like to now invite forward Zoe Elliott to give her sports prefect speech. Now Zoe's been an outstanding student ambassador for us this year. Her approach to her role of sport prefect and ability to lead by example has been outstanding. Zoe has had an amazing year personally with her sport, and we have many fond sporting memories to look back on during her time at Woodford House. So I'd like to welcome Zoe forward.
Morena, I'm Zoe Elliott, your Sports Prefect for 2023. It's a privilege to stand in front of you all and welcome you this morning to what is my last sports breakfast ever. I said to my mum early this year, before prefecture had been announced, that Sports Prefect would be the chair on top for my Year 13. And that's what this role has been for me this year. It has been awesome to lead the girls this year through one of the smoothest sporting seasons we've had in about 3 years, since the pandemic. And it is safe to say that most, if not all, competitions and tournaments have gone ahead without interruptions or cancellations, apart from the cyclone. Woodford House pushes above its weight in so many sports, whether sports like cheerleading or hockey. With the amount of students we have at school, we do very well. Sport is what I like to say, a constant in my life that keeps me sane. My parents who are sitting in the crowd know just how much this has an impact on not only my mental well-being, but also my physical well-being. If I am sick or injured or not able to train, I am the most annoying and agitated person to be around. It's a bit cliche, but sport has taught me so many things in life. And not only that, but I have been to places and bonded with people that I never thought I would have. I've made friends from across the country and even across the ditch. My obsession with sport started when I was about the age of 8 or 9, when I was actually a normal height for my age. I was a little girl who watched her mum run around on court and throw a ball at people. Then it suddenly came my turn to play this game. Surprisingly, it came pretty naturally, and for some reason I kept playing and got into team with the big kids. For somehow I've never found a good enough reason to stop playing netball. It wasn't like any other sport that I'd done, like ballet or BMX, where I quit them after a year or two. Netball stuck. And funny enough, I'm still hitting the court, and it occupies almost every day of my week during the season. Because of the demands of training and games and tournaments, I have had to master the skill of time management and planning my weeks. I think this is the best life hack an athlete can have in their everyday life. Last week, I returned from an amazing 21 days at Outward Bound. Considering I was out in the bush for 2 nights alone, it left me with a bit of time to reflect, to say the least. It gave me a chance to think about the reasons why I do what I do and what keeps me going. To sum it up, I would say it's the community that I'm surrounded by and the little things that happen. The little rewards and milestones in training or games. It was also the feeling after that hard workout or the intercept in the game. To all the girls in the audience who sometimes find it hard to stay committed and motivated to stay in your sport, remember that, like everything in life, it comes with its challenges and highs and lows. But it's the little milestones and achievements that make it all worth it. Whether it's reaching a new PB in a fitness test or nailing that new skill in a game, those are the things that keep the passion alive. And sport isn't something you have to do year in or year out. If you aren't enjoying it anymore and you find yourself dreading it, it's okay to take a break. You shouldn't feel like you have to do it. It's something you should want to do. When you're enjoying what you're doing, that's when the best moments happen. With this, I want to challenge all the girls who are moving away from school sports this year to keep your passion alive in sport and challenge yourself to keep playing. It may seem hard next year as there are so many new things on the horizon, but sport or any kind of physical activity is awesome and it will bring you so much. Before I finish, I would like to say a massive thank you to Mr. Nixon, Bri and Sadia. You three have made my role so easy, fun and effortless. I don't think sport at Woodford House would be the same without you. To my parents and family, you guys have been the biggest support and I'm so grateful for everything you've done for me and my addiction to sport. I am so lucky to have you all. So, in conclusion, I would like to thank everyone in this room for such an amazing year and I hope next year is even better. Remember to make the most of all the amazing opportunities you get and have fun. I would now like to pass it back to Mr. Nixon to start off our winter and summer sports awards. Thank you.
Just invite Mrs. Peterson forward to give out these awards. Briar's help. So just before I start, we're going to start with our Summer Sports Awards. What I'd like to say is that these sports awards are a fantastic opportunity for us to re-award some trophies that we've given out at assemblies across the year. So that includes our athletics champions, our swimming sports champions and our cross-country champions. So we normally give those out at assemblies after the events. So it's fantastic to be able to have the families in attendance and celebrate with those girls again this morning. So on that note, I'm going to start with our athletics champions for 2023. So our year 7 and 8 champion for 2023, if Sophie Wedd could please come forward. Well done, Sophie. Our year 9, so our junior champion for this year was Luca Tartari. Our year 10 champion was Gabrielle Searle. And while Gabby's coming up, Gabby was also our overall intermediate champion. Our Year 11 champion for 2023, if Lydia Burns could please come forward. And finally, our senior champion for 2023, and the winner is Zoe Elliott. So moving on to our cricket category. Cricket's a sport that's gaining a lot of traction at Woodford House at the moment. So as you probably saw towards the back end of term 1, we managed to make the Gillette Venus Cup final, our first 11 cricket team. So that's a fantastic effort. There's a lot of people putting in a lot of work. I know Craig Ross is in attendance today. He's a great backer of Hawke's Bay Cricket and cricket at Woodford House. So Craig, thank you very much for all the work you're putting in. I'm going to start with the most improved player. And this is a student displaying improvement across the season, plus commitment and reliability. A very worthy recipient, Sophie Storer. Moving on to our most promising cricket player for this year. This is a student displaying an ability to perform to a high standard, plus commitment and reliability, and the winner is Charlotte Wakefield. And just while Charlotte's coming up, we also have a contribution to cricket award, which Charlotte is also going to take away this morning. Charlotte not only contributes to cricket at Woodford House, but also across the region. Charlotte's doing a lot of coaching, a lot of development work, so well done, Charlotte, and thanks for all your hard work. Now moving on to our rowing award, we have a Best Performance Award. This is from a student who's had some fantastic results over the last 18 months, and it's no surprises that it's Lydia Burns. Now moving on to our swimming sports champions for 2023. I'll start with our Year 7 and 8 champion. And our Year 7 and 8 champion for this year is Millie Skidmore. Our junior champion for this year, if Florence Deere could please come forward. Well done, Florence. For our Year 10 champion, Kaya Hinare. Our Year 11 champion, who's also our overall intermediate champion, this year it's Evie Skidmore. Well done, Evie. And finally, our senior champion for 2023, this goes to Sophie Webber. Moving on to our touch rugby category. This was a sport that was hugely affected in Term 1, obviously due to the cyclone, but we've bounced back with a bang this term. Lots of juniors playing touch, which is fantastic to see. And our most promising player for 2023, this is a student displaying an ability to perform to a high standard, plus commitment and reliability to touch rugby. The winner this year is Hinuai Joe. And then our final summer sport category before I move on to winter, and it's a summer sport, it's a winter sport, it's water polo. So it's a relatively new sport for Woodford House and for the region, and since the new aquatic facility at the sports park is up and running, we're so lucky that we're able to have so many teams playing water polo. This term we've now got 5 junior teams playing and 2 intermediate teams. Probably, you'd argue it's the largest growing sport in the region, and it's fantastic that we've got Emma Collard from Hawke's Bay Water Polo joining us this morning. Emma's a big driver of water polo in the region and at Woodford House, coaching a number of teams and helping us out wherever she can. So that's been great. Thank you so much, Emma. So it's my pleasure to start with the most improved water polo player for 2023. This is a student who's displayed huge improvement across the season, commitment and reliability to the sport, and we've decided this year, Emma was very sure that the most improved player this year was Tilly Harper. And moving on to our most promising water polo player for 2023, this student displays a definite ability to perform to a high standard, huge commitment and reliability to the sport, and it's Phoebe Nettle. Well done to all those girls who took away an award for the summer sports categories. Moving on to winter sports. We're going to start with badminton. And so I'll start with our Year 7 and 8 badminton champion for 2023. And the winner this year is Gabricia Van Aish. Our junior badminton champion for 2023 is Kayla Mitchell. Our senior champion for 2023, if Aroha Kent could please come forward. And while Aroha is coming forward, she's not only our senior champion, but she's going to be awarded our most promising player for 2023 as well. She's shown huge improvement, some fantastic performances this year, commitment and reliability to badminton, so well done, Aroha. And finally, our most improved badminton player for 2023 is Mami Koizumi. Well done to all those girls. Next we have our basketball category. We had some fantastic results across the winter with our junior basketball team who took out their grade. Some fantastic support, parental support with coaching from Paul Hinare, who's managed to squeeze in some time between his basketball coaching in Japan to take those girls. So I know they learnt a lot. So we really thank Paul for everything that he's done. I know he would have liked to have been here today. So our most improved player, a student who's displayed a lot of improvement across the season, put in some fantastic performances for the team, and is a very committed basketball player. It's Maggie Powdrill. And for most promising player, it's most promising players this year. We couldn't split them. Two girls who have led from the front with our junior basketball program. If these girls could please come forward, Kaya Hinare and Hiniwai Joe. Now to our cross-country champions for 2023. Again, fantastic that we're able to award these with parents in attendance. Our Year 7 and 8 champion for this year was Sophie Wedd. Our junior cross-country champion for 2023, the winner is Eva Harries. And finally, our senior cross-country champion, the winner this year was Sophie Weber. Moving on to our equestrian categories. So we've had some fantastic results across equestrian this year. Some girls doing some really big things. I'm going to start with contribution to equestrian. This is a student displaying exceptional commitment to the sport in terms of leadership, conscientiousness and reliability. Someone who's taken on the role of head of equestrian this year and done a really good job. It's Jess McCann. Our most improved rider in our equestrian category, a student displaying improvement across all aspects of the Woodford House equestrian program, plus commitment and reliability. The winner this year is Lottie Ball. Moving on to our outstanding performer. This is a student displaying an ability to perform to a high standard with outstanding equestrian results throughout 2023. The winner is Anna Wilson. And those results that I've just alluded to mean that Anna also gets our high performance trophy for equestrian. Let's see how she manages this. Next up, we'll be moving into our football, hockey and netball categories, three sports that we've had some really good winter sports seasons with across all levels, junior and senior. So I'm going to start with football, and just while I was sort of touching on big key contributors within football, I know Chris McIver's down the back hiding away somewhere. He's been fantastic for our football program this year. Chris has been guiding that first 11 team, guide them to the Hawke's Bay Secondary School final, and again a fantastic top 4 finish at the Grant Jarvis tournament for tournament week. So we really appreciate everything you're doing, Chris. Thank you very much, mate. So our most improved football player this year, a student who's again displayed a lot of improvement across the season, a student who I love watching play, who's small in stature but has a big heart, commitment and reliability to our football program, and it's Penny Harper. Our next football award is our MVP Cup. So obviously the MVP, the way it's done is after each game we have a 3-2-1, which a lot of teams operate that way, and then at the end of the year all of those points get tallied up based on student performances, and the winner of the MVP Cup this year, based on fantastic performances across the season, goes to Scarlett McIver. Our Golden Boot for 2023, a student who has scored the most goals over the current season, a student who has had an amazing season, not only at Woodford House but within club and rep football, a student who loves football and is definitely going places, and that's Kaya Solomon. Our final football award is the Contribution to Football Award. This is for a player who has exceptional commitment to football, commitment, reliability, leadership, and I think there's no surprises that the winner is Alex Cave. Next up, I'm going to move on to hockey, and I'm going to start with our most improved player for 2023, a player who has had a fantastic season, who's been a mainstay in the first 11 for a couple of years now, who's really cemented herself in her position, commitment, reliability, huge improvement, fantastic performances this year, and it's Danica Grant. Our most promising hockey player for 2023, a player who's been a real leader for us this year, who's been in that first 11 for a number of years now, who took it upon herself this year to lead from the front, had fantastic performances for her Hawke's Bay under-18 team, and it's Molly Kinnear. Moving on to contribution to hockey. This is a student who not only operates to a high level within our first 11 team, but who also gives up a lot of time to coach, umpire, Friday evenings, helping out with year 7 and 8 hockey, Monday nights, 7, 8 p.m. at Park Island, helping do some umpiring for us. So a huge contributor to hockey, and it's Meg Berry. And finally for hockey, we've got our second 11 Coaches Cup. This is for a student who's put in some fantastic performances in the second 11 this year, who's not only been involved at school level, who's been involved at rep level as well, and who is only a year 9, and we're looking forward to having her involved in our hockey program for a number of years now. It's Luka Tatari. Now moving on to our netball categories. So just before I start again, just a huge thank you to Susanna Elliott, who's been managing the senior Prem netball team this year, and Briar, who's had another fantastic year coaching the girls. They've had a great season, and you only have to see how they were operating at tournament week just to see how their team culture is operating and how tight they are, so it's really, really pleasing to see. I'm going to start with our most improved player for this year, a student who I really have enjoyed watching, and I've enjoyed watching her progression this year. She's put in some huge performances, and the winner this year is Portia Bishop-Wilson. And our most promising player for 2023, a student who's playing school level, regional level, internationally now. No surprises. Our most promising netball player for this year is Zoe Elliott. And again, for netball, it's nice to be able to give out a contribution to netball award and recognise the hard work that not only happens on the court but behind the scenes. This is a student who has displayed exceptional commitment to netball, demonstrated through coaching, playing, officiating. So this player ticks all of those boxes. Conscientiousness, reliability, and the winner this year is Holly James. Our final netball award this year is for our most valuable team member in our junior A team, a team that's had a fantastic season, some real talent coming through that team, which I think is why Jess, their coach, had a hard time picking this player, but a student who has had a fantastic season, performs to a high level, showed real leadership and reliability within that junior A team, and it's Kaya Henare. Got two more winter sport categories to go. We'll lead off with orienteering. So we also have our best performer for orienteering across the 2023 season, a student who has had the exceptional ability, displayed exceptional ability within orienteering and had some fantastic performances across a number of competitions, and it's Sophie Weber. And we've got a contribution to orienteering award as well. This goes to a student who has tried to build up orienteering within the school, and that was through, off her own back, putting an application forward to the Tūmanua Active Aotearoa Fund, gaining some funding, and then getting some training for students at all levels, and also some equipment for us, and we're able to grow the sport. Lots of girls getting out there, getting active and learning a new skill. So well done for your contribution to orienteering, Zoe Elliott. And our final award is for clay target shooting. Possibly my favourite named cup, the most valuable shooter. We've got a student who's competing regularly, most weekends, across Hawke's Bay, Gisborne, in clay target shooting. Fantastic results, displaying exceptional commitment to the squad in terms of leadership and reliability, really high standard of accuracy within her shooting, and it's Emma Lowry. And before we move on to having Dame Valerie come forward and have a bit of a Q&A with her, we just thought it's nice year on year to recognise our Year 13s who have given a lot to sport at Woodford House. Their hard work, their commitment, many of these girls have played for a number of years in our top teams, representing Woodford House at school competitions, inter-school exchanges, national tournaments. Furthermore, a number of these girls coach, officiate, and they give a lot to sport during their time at Woodford House. So I'd like to call forward the following girls to receive a Year 13 Service to Sport Award as a recognition to everything they've given to sport and all the time and energy that they've given during their time at Woodford House. So I'll ask these girls to come forward, please. Ella Arthur, Service to Netball. Alex Cave, Service to Tennis and Football. Zoe Coyle, Service to Hockey. Zoe Elliott, netball and athletics. Rose Harwood, football and rowing. Molly Kinnear, hockey and tennis. Jess McCann, equestrian. Jess McNamara, football. Nikki Mignani, football. Rose Robertson, cricket. Sophie Ward, netball and tennis. And Al Williams for fantastic service to hockey. Well done to all those girls who have come across the stage for those first awards. Fantastic to see, and we're really pleased that we're able to celebrate with you again this morning. So now we are really thrilled to welcome Dame Valerie Adams as our special guest speaker for our Sports Achievers Breakfast this morning. Dame Valerie doesn't really need an introduction as a former New Zealand shot putter and one of the country's most decorated and successful athletes. I'll just run through a little intro. Dame Valerie is a 4-time world champion, 4-time world indoor champion, 2-time Olympic, 3-time Commonwealth Games champion, and twice IAAF Continental Cup winner. Adams was the third winner to win world championships at youth, junior and senior levels of an athletics event. After retiring from athletics competition in 2022, she was appointed to the board of High Performance Sport New Zealand and has also continued coaching alongside being a busy mum. Today we're going to do a Q&A style interview with Zoe taking the reins. I know she's full of, let's say, nervous excitement. So I'd like to invite forward Dame Valerie and Zoe, and we'll start our Q&A.
No, it's awesome to have you here. I'm sure everyone is really looking forward to hearing about your story and stuff. So, first question, tell us a little bit about your background, kind of like a Wikipedia download, I guess.
Well, morning everybody. It's so awesome to be here. So I kind of feel like I'm coming back to Havelock as like a second home of training. I actually come here a lot. Maybe you guys think I'm a foreigner. I'm actually not. I stay in Havelock, but I train at the sports centre, and you guys have a wonderful region. The community is awesome. I feel like Havelock is like the newlyweds and the newly-deads. I'm really sorry if you guys think that's but that's just my own impression come from the outside. So my mum's Tongan from the island of Tonga, and my dad's English. And Mr. Nixon here obviously read out all the sporting stuff, but that's all like the boring stuff. The real thing is that my father is a father of 18, and my mother has three girls, and my father has wonderfully contributed to the sporting successes of this country, and I'm one of those 18, and which has been wonderful. I grew up in South Auckland, went to Mangli's primary school, Mangli intermediate school, and then went to Ngātapai College, which the Ministry of Education ended up closing down because I wasn't doing so well, renamed it to Southern Cross Campus, and now they're absolutely doing wonderful. I started at the age of 14, never had the same opportunities as what you guys have been presenting for today, which is absolutely wonderful, but sports, and I loved how you explained how sports is a soul, sports is a place that brings out a lot of people. It is a saving grace for a lot of athletes or even just humans, and also we talk about mental health and well-being now. It wasn't actually a thing back then, so I can go on and on and on about this Wikipedia, and it could be very boring, but I'm just going to hand it over to Zoe to see what other questions that she wants to ask me.
What other sports were you involved in growing up?
So we were involved in, I'm 6'4", if you didn't know, and we were heavily involved in basketball. Where I come from, team sports is what the norm was: basketball, netball, and rugby. So you were just thrown into those sports. So I was quite heavily involved in basketball. My sister and I were called the Twin Towers, obvious reasons. My father was 6'10" and my mother was 6 foot, and this is the end result. But we were just thrown into the sport of basketball. I also participated in rugby, volleyball, all the sports that require really big, large, tall people. I was it. And I actually love being tall now. I actually hated being tall as a 12-year-old. I was 6 foot before the age of 12. So you can imagine like being this tall at intermediate school with all the girls over there. It's actually quite a hard thing to take on board. And when you're 12, in a school where you're seen as an outcast, you're abnormal, you're being ridiculed because of your genetic makeup, it's actually quite hard to deal with. The only place I felt normal was actually the sports field. The only place that people wanted to be a part of my team was in the sports field. So sports was an area for me which I felt normal. I felt like I belonged. I had size 14 feet. I still have size 14 feet me. And I'm pretty sure it's bigger than most of your dads in here. And that's okay. But I didn't really embrace who I was until I participated in athletics. And that was only because I felt normal, but also all of a sudden who I really was came out. It flourished. And I got more confident and I got more comfortable with who I was as I got older. But at school, I hated going to school. I hated going to assemblies like this, where we all have to do school stand, and you have school, Valerie. And it was the most awkward thing for me. And I could laugh about it now, don't get me wrong, but it's my job as a mum, so I have a daughter, and as an auntie, to lead by example and stand up straight and be proud of who I am, because I want my nieces and nephews, I want my daughter to embrace who she is and embrace the fact that she's probably going to be tall like mummy, and that's okay. And today, I have a responsibility to be able to empower, especially our young females and our young wahines, who actually some see being tall as almost like a disability. It ain't. Embrace it, love it, it is who you are. And being this tall and being this big has taken me places. So I have embraced it now, don't get me wrong, I haven't always been this confident my whole life, but it's one that I am very passionate about. But sports, rugby, netball, basketball, all those team sports things, orienteering, that doesn't even come near our vocabulary. I mean, horse riding, not even at all. Tomans eat horses. Don't take it out. That is the way it is, right? But so do Swiss people and the people of Europe, so let's just relax on that. Thank you.
You're a high-performance athlete for some 20 years. Talk to us about the highs and lows and what you would change if you had a chance.
There's a lot of highs and lows of high performance, and I must admit, from the time I started to the time I retired, high performance sport in New Zealand has grown. High performance sport in New Zealand is now a system that is in place to enable more athletes to come through the system and get more support. It was once upon a time I used to train at the Warriors car park, and if the Warriors had a game on, we got kicked out. That was my training centre, but my love and passion and want to succeed and want to be a part of the team outweighed any barriers that came my way. If the Warriors had a game on, that's okay, I'll train the next day. If the car park was closed, I'd naughty climb the fence, and I'd throw my shot puts over the fence, climb the fence, train, and then leave. But the changes that high performance sport has made over the years has been exceptional. There is now high performance hubs. I mean, you guys have one here. There's one in Auckland in Millennium, and being in the system is wonderful. However, I feel to some extent we have created an environment where we do give opportunities, but sometimes we enable certain behaviours. It becomes a little bit easier to become a sports person, and therefore we must find a place to make sure we find that balance, that people want to be there, people want to be a champion, and realise that high performance is actually high performance. It's not a participation route, and it's quite cutthroat. Sports in this country and their funding is dependent on KPIs. You meet KPIs, so you go to the Olympics, they might say the athletics will win 2 medals or 1 medal. For example, next year, they're going to win 1 medal. Now, everybody in this whole country knows where that 1 medal has to come from. I haven't even won the medal. Therefore, the pressures on an athlete is quite substantial. So you have to deal with that as an athlete, and the way I dealt with it was actually leave the country. I went and lived in Switzerland for 8 years. I'd come home, find out what I knew what KPI was, come home, do our nationals, and then I'd bugger off and stay in Switzerland because that just cuts the noise out. But it has been a work in progress. There is still a lot of work to be made within high performance. The mental health and well-being space is really huge, and it is talked about. Before, when I started, it was take a concrete pill and toughen up. And now it is spoken about, which is very, very important. And myself being Tommen, it's seen as a weakness. You come to me with a problem, get on with it, like you'll be right, type of thing. Where now we have to be actually serious about the fact that there are issues that we have to kind of bring to surface, and people's upbringing, people's home life is not as hunky-dory as what they make it out to be. But what we're doing in high performance sport is creating a safe space and finding people and being culturally sensitive, that not everybody deals with it the same way. So getting people that they can connect with, getting people in their own likeness that they can speak to about certain issues. And that's an area which is huge. But equally, you've got to go back to, this is high performance and we're here to win medals. And next year we have what's happening next year, guys? Olympics. Fantastic. Where's the Olympics being held, Duncan?
Paris.
Thank you, well done. I told you that. I'm kidding. Yes, in Paris. So, for us as in New Zealand, we've just finished Tokyo, and it's a very, very short cycle, and now we're heading into Paris. Pressure is high. Everybody's kind of on edge, but equally, we're there to perform. And there's a minimal amount of people there performing, but the whole country is critiquing. And the whole country has an opinion, and the whole country's got to tell you what they feel or think about what you're doing. But that's just the luck of the draw, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, and this is why it's called high performance. And yeah, I loved it for 25 years. It was great.
Would you offer any guidance to someone coming in or looking to get into the high performance area?
Absolutely. So I would firstly find something that you love to do. And you talked about the passion and having love for the sport, but making sure you have a good support network around you. Understand the assignment and understand what it requires to be at the top. Have your own checkpoints along the way. If you're there for a good time and not really, holding yourself accountable for performances or acknowledging situations may happen, stop for a minute and go back and do those simple things. Because sometimes you get thrown in the deep end, you get caught up in the environment, you get caught up in the whole hoo-ha of being there. You as an individual need to stop for a minute and take charge and see where you're going. So I'm going to bring you to the bus terminology that I share with a lot of people that I speak to. So you are on your journey, and as a youngster, you are on your journey, and your bus may be going to, for example, take this as an example, my bus is going towards the Olympic Games. Your bus may be going to university next year, wherever it may lead you. What is your goal? Everybody on your bus, or your team, has to add value to the progression of your bus, to where your bus is going. So for example, on my bus I'll have my strength and conditioning coach, nutritionist, chiropractor, physio, massage therapist, kids, management, all these people, my psychologist, etc., all these people are going to help push your bus or progress your bus. I'm the driver of the bus, so it's my responsibility to make sure I hold people accountable. If at any time people are not adding value to your bus and making it progress forward, have the power or feel empowered to kick them off your bus. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not going to be able to jump back on the next bus stop or anything like that. What it means is they are actually distracted, they're not sticking to their knitting, they're here for a certain skill set. Make sure that they are sticking to that skill set. So for myself, if a coach starts becoming a physio, you got to make it clear. The physio's got their job, you got your job, the kids have got their job unless they completely destroy you, but that's okay. Management, they've got their job, they can't jump into anybody else's job, they've got to be there to stick to their knitting, but everybody understands the assignment. Making sure that people are on that bus, understand the assignment, but also don't have a personal agenda as well, which could easily happen, especially if this bus is going to Olympics, etc., because there are outcomes and things that come from performances, etc. So I had to be the driver of my bus for over 20 years. And along the way, I've kicked people on and off my bus. Some people got back on the bus and others got back, never made the bus. Now, when you get to your destination, when I got to the Olympic Games, the whole world sees me. They don't see who's on my bus or who's in my support network. They see Valerie. If Valerie performs, wonderful. If Valerie doesn't perform, let's crucify her. That's the reality of the life or the journey that we're on. And as a youngster, however big your bus may be, you've got to start driving your own bus. You've got to start driving your own bus and make sure that the people that are on your bus are adding value to where you want to go. And it's hard, but at every bus stop, have a little check-in, meetings, what's everybody up to? We need some help, we need to talk about it. What do I need? And making sure that people can come on and off your bus as you need them. But that's just the way life goes, and that's just the way society goes at the moment. It is tough out there. Now my bus looks a little bit different. My journey and my destination is a little bit different, but I make sure that everybody that's on my bus is adding value. And if you don't, trust me, these size 14 boots can kick a very long way.
I'm sure some people in this room can relate. Has there been times where you've lost focus and felt like giving up? How did you get yourself back on track and remotivated?
Lost focus? Probably not. I think it was one of those situations where things seemed a little bit difficult, and that most of the time came down to injuries or relationship breakdowns on a personal note. Injuries is quite a big one, because injuries doesn't only impact you as personally, but it actually impacts your livelihood and what your future looks like. So it's actually acknowledging that there's an issue, A. B, getting the right support network around you, but also being able to make the changes that is required to progress. So when you're injured, and I've had 8 surgeries, sports related, not even children related, 8 surgeries sports related. And along this, and along the years, or over the years, I'm one of these people, or these athletes, I'm not a numbers person. So I could have kept competing now and qualified for the Olympics and keep going if I really, really, really wanted to. But I was never going to medal in Paris. That's just not me. And one time in 2015, I had surgery. I had my elbow and my shoulder done at the same time, on the same day, thinking I'm going to wake up with a little plaster on this arm and a sling on this arm. I woke up with a massive cast from here to here and a sling here. So my arms are like this. And the very next year, we had the World Champs, and I was defending champion, and everybody was gunning for me to go for my 5th title, and so was I. Now, along the way, the rehab came along. It was a nerve issue, so you can't make the nerve problems go away quicker, like joints or muscles. I can kind of fake my way through those things, but the nerves you can't. I'd won 109 competitions at this stage. My winning streak was long, over 10 years. And I was going to go to Paris, and I decided to compete knowing full well I was going to lose the competition. Now, anybody with a big ego would be like, I'm not going to compete because I'm not going to win that comp, right? And they're going to just hang out until they're really good enough to go back and compete to know if they're going to win. I myself needed a checkpoint to make sure to see if I was going to be competitive enough to go to World Champs, which was only 8 weeks away. I competed, and that was my first comp in maybe 13 months after having the surgery, and I got 5th. And my gosh, the headlines in New Zealand: Valerie loses after 10 years. Valerie loses after consecutive wins of X amount. And that was actually harder to take than what the reality was of the whole competition. But I knew that. So what I did was, I had the competition, was powerful enough, because I could have still gone to World Champs and make the final, but I'm not a finalist, I'm a winner. That's just who I am. I can't change that. So I got 5th. I made the call not to go to World Champs. So I took things into my own hands, and I told my manager my little plan on how I was going to announce this, because there's an expectation that you're going to announce things like this. I did a little Facebook Live. Social media is a blessing and a curse. And at this stage, it was a blessing. Let me tell you why. I was in the middle of Switzerland doing all this. I did a Facebook Live back home. I was in control. I could control the narrative that was about to go out there. So it was up to me to explain to the public and the wider media what was happening, what my plans were, what it looks like going forward, and the reason behind it, because the media loves you and they always try and find a story because they want to run a story the very next day. So I took it into my own hands to do that. It worked in my favour. My manager didn't like it. Oh well, c'est la vie. But 2-3 weeks later, it was a godsend because then I was able to shut shop and come home. So making sure that you have your team around you, acknowledging it, but getting the help that you need, but being realistic. As a sports person, you've got to be realistic. If you like to be a participant and keep going and going and going, be my guest, but don't expect miracles to happen. You're not going to be a champion at doing that, but you've got to be able to be realistic about your performances. And as a coach now, I'm a very realist coach, and my athletes know I'm really black and white. Probably too black and white, but I don't know any other way. And one of the athletes I coach is my sister, and thank Christ, she is exactly like me, very black and white. So it works very, very well. And I know that style doesn't work for everybody, but I'm also very considerate, and I pick up what their style of training is and how they react and perform under certain pressures. I kind of adjust myself, but I'm also a very, very realistic person. Too realistic sometimes.
There are probably two we need to mention, but what has been your number one sporting memory or moment?
Probably the Tokyo Olympic Games, and yes, I won a bronze medal there, and that's because I was there as a mother of two. And there's a few mums in this crowd, and they know how hard it is to have children, but to come back and go to the Olympic Games and win another medal after having two babies. And the journey to the Olympic Games wasn't all that easy. I actually lost my life after having my son, and they had to take him out prematurely, etc., etc. So it was quite a disastrous build up to the Games, but it was one that was very memorable because of many, many reasons, and one of them in particular was because of having my two kids at home. And it was a COVID Games, it was delayed, so it was a very, very full on. So to be able to do that and actually be I guess, not an example, but to showcase that mums can do anything. Like, if you're a female athlete, and I think nowadays we speak about it a lot more, is actually making sure that we look after our girls and our women for the future. Because back in the day, and my day still, was actually once you get pregnant and have a baby, like, the sponsors cut you. Like, that's it. When I got pregnant and had a baby, I was like, sis, don't cut me, like, watch me. And 6 months after I had my first child, I was at the Commonwealth Games. Because that's just the type of silly things that I do. But it goes to show that as a female, you can do these things. And if you want to continue on having a career, be my guest. You can absolutely do it. But what I didn't want to do, I didn't want a male to dictate when I was going to retire or when I was going to stop being an athlete. Because that's the wrong thing to do. I wanted to be in control. So I made sure that I proved them all wrong, and ended up at the Commonwealth Games, and then ended up at the Olympic Games with 2 children, which was absolutely phenomenal. And it was a wonderful Games, a very different Games, and Paris is going to be completely different and back to normal, which is awesome.
Finally, there are a wide range of young athletes in the room, all starting out on their sporting journeys. Looking back at you and yourself, what advice would you give knowing what you know now?
I would definitely be prepared to work. Being an Olympic champion and being a champion and doing the sports and all the rest of it isn't easy. This line of work is not easy, but if you find what you love to do, that's half the battle. You know, find your passion, find your love. Because once you find that, like, it's not a job. Like, I love it. Even though this has been my job for a very long time, it is not a job for me. Make sure you're smiling, making sure you enjoy what you do. And if you don't enjoy it, stop and find something else. It's okay. But best of luck to everybody that's in here. Thank you so much for the mums and dads and all the guardians who have helped kind of raise these girls to be the woman that they are. And Zoe, you're amazing. I think she's wonderful, isn't she? And her parents are wonderful. And Duncan, I think we're besties forever.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Valerie. I'd love it if you stayed up on stage to give out some of the special awards that we're going to move on to now. You put that down, Zoe. Thank you. So like I said, girls, we're going to move on to the special awards this morning. So This means that your sporting achievements and attitude towards sport at school, regional and national levels have been exemplary this year. When the winners come up to receive their award, we've got a bit of a PowerPoint outlining achievements. So girls, if you could just come up on stage, receive your award from Dame Valerie, and then head down for a photo again just before returning to your seat. So I'm going to start off this morning with our Fair Play Award. This goes to a student displaying exceptional fair play in sport through commitment, selflessness and resiliency within the sporting cornerstone at Woodford House. And the winner for 2023 is Sophie Ward. As you can see, Soph competed in the New Zealand Secondary School Tennis Cup. That team placed in second. She played for Central Sports Netball Club in the Hawke's Bay Netball Super 8 comp. Alongside Alex and Sophie, their team won the Tennis Christie Cup for 2023, and she's been a member of our senior Prem Netball team since 2019 and a valued member of our tennis quad team. Well done, Soph. Our next award is our Sportsmanship Award. Now, this is awarded to the girl who has shown, in addition to success in her sport, loyalty, unselfishness, and outstanding sportsmanship to her school. And the winner this year is Nikki Mignani. She might have had to duck off. We'll hold on to that award for Nikki. Moving on to our Student Coach of the Year. A fantastic recognition of those girls that give back. It's not only girls' performances we're looking at, we're also looking at contribution, which I think is just as big, and it's just as big for us as a sports department in a school. So our Student Coaches of the Year this year are Millie Allen and Rosa Pike. So these girls have been huge for us this year, huge for netball at Woodford House. They coached the junior silver team in the Hawke's Bay Secondary School Netball Comp. They received their bronze award in the New Zealand Netball Leadership Program, and they completed the Foundation to Coaching workshop through Hawke's Bay Netball. Girls that we'll be relying on for the next year or so it's fantastic to have you on board. Thanks, Millie and Rosa. Student Official of the Year, again, really important to us as a sports department, as a school, girls that we can rely on to help officiate games and make sure that the sporting experience for especially our junior girls is as quality as possible. This student has done a lot with regards to hockey this year. So our Student Official of the Year is Meg Berry. So Meg's assisted with hockey holiday programs at Woodford House, at Hawke's Bay Hockey holiday programs. She's helped with our Year 7 and 8 hockey trials and games, whether it be coaching or umpiring. And she also played for the Tech Academy in Div 1, as well as the Woodford House First 11. So it's been a busy year for Meg, and she's been great for us in the sports department. Well done. Moving on to our Year Group Awards. So we're going to have a Contribution and Performance Award as well as a Sports Person of the Year for our year groups. So I'm going to start with our Year 7 and 8 Contribution and Performance Award. This year we have two recipients, two girls who have had fantastic seasons in their own right in their respective sports. So I'd like to invite forward Phoebe Nettle and Sophia Morris. As you can see on the slideshow, Phoebe has had an amazing swimming season, so you can see there's a lot of results there, and also with regards to water polo. Sophia has been fantastic in hockey and tennis and also cross country, so some amazing results from those girls there on that slideshow. Well done. Moving on to our Year 7 and 8 Sports Person of the Year. The winner for 2023 is Sophie Wedd. So as you can see, Sophie's currently ranked 12th for her age in New Zealand and ranked number 1 in Hawke's Bay for tennis. I won't run through all of the awards and achievements for Sophie for this year, but as you can see, it's across tennis, it's across cross country and athletics, and also hockey. So Sophie's had a fantastic year. Well done, Sophie. Moving on to our Year 9 Contribution and Performance Award. Our recipient this year is Caitlin Stillman. Caitlin's a member of the Hawke's Bay Under-15 Hockey Black Team who competed at the Lower North Island Hockey Festival, currently sitting her New Zealand Water Polo Coaching and Refereeing cert. She participated in the UP program at EIT, New Zealand Orienteering Champs in Hawke's Bay, and she plays for the Woodford House Maroon Water Polo team and the Second 11 hockey team. Fantastic work from a Year 9 student. Our Year 9 Sportsperson of the Year for 2023 is Franka Ponovic. Frank is a member of the Under-14 Hawke's Bay tennis team that competed in the Kiwi Indoor Nationals. That's the top 16 in the country, placing second in the doubles with Soph. Represented Waikato Bay's top 4 girls in the Waikato Bay region. Represented Tennis Eastern at the Palmerston North and Tauranga representative tournaments, and the winner of the 13 and over Havelock North Club Champs. Fantastic tennis season for Franka. Year 10, our Year 10 Contribution and Performance Award. The recipient this year is Kayla Mitchell. Now, as you can see, and you've heard about across the year, Kayla represented New Zealand in the Junior Roller Derby World Cup in France earlier this year. A fantastic effort by Kayla. She's a member of our top junior water polo team, Woodford House Junior Badminton Champion for 2023, and a member of our junior black netball team for 2023. A huge contributor for sport at Woodford House, so a very deserved recipient, Kayla. Our Year 10 Sportsperson of the Year. This year, the winner is Kaya Solomon. So Kaya's a member of the Taradale AFC Women's Central League team and the Central Football Under-18 Girls National Youth League team. She's selected into the Hawke's Bay Futsal Under-18 girls team going to the Gold Coast International Championships in 2024. And she was also injury cover for the New Zealand women's team that travelled to Tahiti for the OFC Under-16 World Cup qualifiers last month. So all fantastic results for a student who's still only 15, so well done, Kaya. Moving on to Year 11, our Year 11 Contribution and Performance Award. The winner this year is Lydia Burns. Lydia's had some amazing results in rowing. She competed at the North Island Rowing Champs earlier this year, winning gold in the Cox Quad for intermediate girls. She placed first in the Cox Quad and Cox 4 in the under-16 girls age group, first in the Cox Quad in the under-17 age group, and second in the Coxless 4 in the Women's Open at the Dewar Shield Blue Lakes Regatta. As you can also see, she was selected for the New Zealand Rowing Champs intermediate girls, receiving bronze in the Cox 4 and gold in the Cox Quad. And she also picked up a number of awards at the Hawke's Bay Rowing Club Champs. Well done, Lids. Our Year 11 Sportsperson of the Year for 2023 is Evie Skidmore. Evie's had a great 2023, competing at the New Zealand Secondary Schools Open Water Champs 16 to 19 year age group, receiving silver in the 500 metres, placing 5th in the 3.5k. At the New Zealand Secondary School Pool Champs 16 year age group, Evie received silver in 200 fly, bronze in 100 fly, 4th in 50 fly, and 100 and 100 medley. She competed at the New Zealand Short Course Swimming Champs 16-year-old age group, silver in the 200 fly, and placed 8th in the New Zealand Open A final. Also, as you can see, she's been across the stage a couple of times for the Woodford House Swimming Awards. Evie's had a great 2023, well done. Our Year 12 Awards, our Contribution and Performance Award for our Year 12 student this year goes to Charlotte Wakefield. Charlotte's doing some big things within cricket. She's a member of the Central District's under-17 team that placed second at the Nationals, and she captained the Central District's indoor under-17 cricket team that placed fifth at the Nationals. She also captained the Central District's under-22 indoor team. She captained our Woodford House First 11 to victory in the Hawke's Bay Gillette Venus Cup, with the team going to play in the Central District's finals at Palmerston North for the first time. She gives a lot back to cricket, and we really appreciate everything you do for sport at Woodford House, Charlotte. Our Year 12 Sports Person of the Year this year is Sophie Webber. As you can see, Soph competed at the East Coast North Island Athletics Champs in the intermediate group. They came third in the 800 and second in the 15. At the Hawke's Bay Gisborne Champs, she placed first in the 15 for under-18 girls. She competed in the East Coast Cross Country and East Coast Road Race, placing second senior at both. She was also at the New Zealand Secondary Schools Open Water Swim Nationals and then the North Island Cycling Champs, coming fourth. She competed at the New Zealand Secondary Schools Duathlon Champs, placing fourth overall for New Zealand, and she was selected in the New Zealand Junior Triathlon Development Camp that's being held in December in Christchurch. On top of that, she also qualified for the New Zealand Indoor Tennis Champs as the top 16 in the country. So a busy year for Soph, but fantastic results. Moving on to our Year 13 awards, our Contribution and Performance Award this year goes to a student who's contributed a lot to sport at Woodford House across her time here and has also had performances to back it up, and the winner is Alex Cave. Alex competed at the New Zealand Secondary School Tennis Cup in Auckland, winning a silver medal. She'll be participating in the Tennis New Zealand National Under-18 tournament in December. She does a lot of coaching within the Greendale Club and at Woodford House. She received a Wilson Ambassador sponsorship as she's the top female tennis player in Hawke's Bay Under-18. And at the recent Hawke's Bay Secondary School Sports Awards, Alex was awarded the Student Contribution to Sport and Active Recreation Award, which is a huge result up against in a very tough category. Alex also plays senior women's football for the Taradale Club and is the captain of our Woodford House First 11 football team. Another busy year for Alex, well done. And our Year 13 Sports Person of the Year for 2023 goes to Zoe Elliott. Zoe was the captain of the under-18 Hawke's Bay Black team. She was selected for the East Coast North Island team to travel to the Nationals for athletics. She participated at the Netball New Zealand National Development Camp and was selected in the 2023 New Zealand Secondary School Netball team, which travelled to Canberra in June. That's the top 14 secondary school age players in the country. Fantastic effort. She was recognised at the Hawke's Bay Secondary School Sports Awards as a shortlisted athlete for Female Athlete of the Year, and she received the Sportsmanship Award for Hawke's Bay Netball Under-18 Black, was awarded Hawke's Bay Netball Junior Player of the Year and Overall Sports Person of the Year. She's also been selected for the High Performance New Zealand Pathways Project. A fantastic year, Zoe, well done. So for our last couple of awards, our Principals Awards, I'd like to invite Mrs. Peterson forward. Stay up as well. Shake some hands. I know the girls are keen to shake Valerie's hand as they get their awards. We're going to start with our Principals Award for our Woodford House Team of the Year. Lots of teams operating to a very high level and some fantastic results across the year. But this year we've decided to go with a team who made a national final, came away with a silver medal at the New Zealand Secondary Schools Tennis Cup in Term 1. A fantastic effort by these girls. They beat some big schools on the way to that finals. Fantastic effort. I know Susanna's here, Susanna Cave, who was our very able manager, who got those girls across the line. So we'd just like to say well done to our senior tennis team for the New Zealand Secondary Schools Tennis Cup, Alex Cave, Sophie Webber and Sophie Ward. Come on up, girls. So that takes me to our Principals Award for Sporting Excellence. This is a student who's been across the stage a number of times tonight, a student who we are going to really miss at Woodford House, miss not only for her sporting pursuits, but obviously as a student as well. She's fantastic, always in the sports office. The family's contributed a lot to sport at Woodford House as well. End of an era for the Cave family. So if Alex could please pop back up to receive the Principal's Award for Sporting Excellence. And just while we've got Alex up here, as I said, at the Hawke's Bay Sports Awards, she won the Student Contribution to Sport category, which was a huge effort, and we'd like to re-award the trophy that she got earlier this week. Well done, Alex. And we've got 2 more awards for our ceremony before I do a quick conclusion. Our 2023 overall Junior Sportsperson of the Year, and we've also got our 2023 overall Senior Sportsperson of the Year. 2 girls who have had fantastic seasons, who have very, very bright futures within sport. You've seen a slideshow for each of the students already. Our 2023 overall Junior Sportsperson of the Year for 2023 is Kaya Solomon. And our final award for this evening, our 2023 overall Senior Sportsperson of the Year. As I alluded to in the slideshow again, a student who has had a fantastic year this year. Not only this year, obviously there's been a culmination of years leading up to reaching her goals this year, ticking off a lot of boxes, and I know that there's a big sporting future mapped out for this student, and you've heard from her a number of times tonight, this morning, and the winner is Zoe Elliott. Yeah, great, thank you. Amazing. Hey, just before we conclude our 2023 Sports Awards, I'd just like to say well done to all the prize winners. Thank you again to everyone that has contributed to sport at Woodford House this year. This includes our coaches, our teachers, our parents, and of course all of you girls that represent the school so well. A huge thank you each year has to go to Briar. Obviously all the logistical work that she does behind the scenes. She's always cool, calm and collected and keeps the day-to-day running of sport at Woodford House ticking along like clockwork. I guess this is also as much as a welcome, as much as a thank you to Karen Holder, who is our new SLT member overseeing sport. Karen's been a fantastic addition, and her sporting background and knowledge is going to be invaluable going forward. Sadia, our returning sports administration assistant, it's been great to have you back. I know the girls have loved it. They've loved having you back coaching and supporting their sporting pursuits. And of course, Dame Valerie, I'd just like to invite you forward just to receive a small gift from Woodford House. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to celebrate with us today. It's been an absolute treat for us all. And last but not least, Zoe Elliott, our sports prefect. Zoe's led from the front on both the sports field and at school in 2023. Zoe, you've set yourself some lofty goals for this year and you've smashed them all. You've made sure that sport has been accessible for all students and that there have been new and unique opportunities for girls to sink their teeth into. You've been an amazing sports prefect this year, and we couldn't have asked for a better student ambassador to represent us. I know you've had an amazing support from your two biggest fans in Duncan and Susanna. You guys can be very proud of Zoe, so come on up, Zoe. And just before I finish, I make a point of it every year, but I know Zoe touched on it in her speech, to our Year 13 leavers, make time for sport when you leave school. It'll take more effort for you to join clubs, look for new teams. However, what you'll get back in the way of friendships, networking and enjoyment will repay your efforts tenfold, so keep involved. Thank you to all the supporters that have watched via our video link. We look forward to 2024 and all the opportunities that it brings. Just girls, make sure that you get your last minute photos with your trophies before we'll grab them back and get them engraved. Thank you everyone who's been in attendance, and have a safe and restful long weekend. Thank you guys.